The Doomsday mom, convicted for killing two of her children and then conspiring to kill a romantic rival, is poised to defend herself in a new trial on Monday. Lori Vallow is now charged with conspiring to kill her ex-husband, Charles Vallow. NewsNation's Caitlyn Becker has followed the story from the very beginning. It's a very bizarre story. Good morning, Caitlyn. What can we expect in court this time around?
Well, Hena, we're not going to be able to expect what we usually see in a courtroom. Things are not going to play out typically, and that's because Lori Vallow has chosen to defend herself. She's acting as her own lawyer here. So when opening statements begin on Monday, she's going to deliver her own opening statement to the jury. Now, the jury was seated last week. They're all sworn in. There's 16 in total. 13 of them are men. 3 are women. Now, in her last trial, people in her orbit testified that Lori really liked male attention. So the theory here is that maybe the men on the jury may look at her more favorably because she was in control of dismissing jurors and allowing them on the panel. Now, Hena, before she went to trial or is going to trial this week, she actually did a sit down on camera interview with a local outlet. And I want to read you just this one line where she talks about why she's defending herself. She says, quote, "I'm not an attorney. I don't have training to be an attorney. There's something that I figured out when I got to this jail, you know. This experience has been 5 years running." The 5 years there is seemingly in reference to her last trial, her last murder trial where she was represented by attorneys, but she was convicted, you know, she was convicted. So it seems like very odd choice for her to go ahead and reference that as her background for law. And it's already becoming an issue in the courtroom. During jury selection, Lori stood up and told potential jurors that it was their job to protect her from the state. She said it's her against the prosecutors, against the law enforcement, and against the judge, and that the jury is her line of defense, basically. That is not what a jury does, and the judge had to step in and clarify for the jury that, in fact, their only job is to determine whether or not the state has proved its case. So she's going to give that opening statement on Monday, Hena, and I think things are going to be complicated, to say the least.
Yeah, that's usually not what a lawyer says either, Caitlyn, as you well know. In this trial, she's facing charges of conspiracy to murder. Walk us through this crime.
Yeah, this comes back to her former husband, Charles Vallow. She's been married several times, but this is about Charles Vallow, who she was married to at the time in Arizona when he was shot to death. She didn't kill him. Her brother, Alex Cox, did. But Alex Cox is also dead in this case. But what we're looking at here is this conspiracy thing. It's the prosecution's assertion that Lori was directed to kill, or Lori directed Alex to kill Charles Vallow because she wanted to run off with the guy she was having an affair with, Chad Daybell, who she would go on to marry. This is why we call her the Doomsday cult mom, because she and Chad Daybell had concocted this theory that they were going to lead 144,000 people to salvation during the apocalypse. And a whole bunch of people turned up dead, the people who were basically standing in their way. That's what prosecutors are saying. Now, she and Chad have already been convicted for 3 of those deaths in Idaho. This case is in Arizona, but it's all kind of wrapped up in that same scheme, Hena.
Very complicated case, Caitlyn Becker. Thank you for simplifying it for us.
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.